Enthalpod, the podcast where we talk about the latest in environmental testing so you can be the most in the know in your organization. If this is your first time here, I'm your host, Will Rice, and I'm the Director of Business Development at Enthalpy Analytical. I have worked in the environmental industry for more than 15 years, focusing much of my efforts on the technical side of vapor intrusion. But more than anything, I have a passion for making the air we breathe clean and safe. I hope you'll join me in this series to learn the ins and outs of environmental testing and serve public health better. Today, I want to ask the important question: why helium shrouds? You may be thinking, I don't want to do helium shrouds. I don't like helium. I don't even like Party City. These are things we hear from people all the time. While helium shrouds are not required, the reason we keep coming back to them is because helium is not abundant in the environment. And because it is not naturally occurring, it makes for a good leak check in the field. The lab can also access it during our routine processes. And we at Enthalpy Analytical have developed an approach that minimizes how much helium you actually go through while sampling. While helium is not necessarily the golden ticket, it is the one that checks the boxes qualitatively and quantitatively between policy, science, and business. Let's dig into this a little more, especially if you do work across states. It's important to know, for example, the California Environmental Protection Agency and the Department of Toxic Substances Control, or DTSC, as well as the California Water Boards, all have very clear language on leak check testing. Section 4.2.2 of the advisory from DTSC on active soil gas investigation states, the intent of leak testing is to demonstrate the integrity of the sampling system. Both gaseous and liquid leak check compounds can accomplish this goal when used properly in the field. Using gaseous leak check compounds in a properly constructed shroud offers the advantage of instantaneously quantifying the system leaks in the field with a handheld instrument prior to sample collection. Thus, a shroud provides an opportunity to immediately resolve significant leaks, avoid collecting compromised samples, and reducing field time and unnecessary sample analysis. Additionally and objectively, the scientific background provides support because of helium's gaseous behavior. In the field, it can be analyzed by a mobile laboratory or field instrument without interfering with the other targets. And because helium can be evaluated with handheld instrumentation, it gets you even closer to the assurity you need when taking a sample. I would not want to wait for my sample results to know whether or not I had a leak. Section 4.2.3 of the ASGI recommends collecting a sample in the field for leak check compound screening purposes. With our setup, this isn't necessary. We provide you real-time monitoring as well as confirmation analysis. But in order to do this, you have to use helium because it's the only option that can be measured in field, confirmed by a lab, down to a level that is observed and certifiable by a state. Now let's talk a little about the other leak detection options: isopropyl alcohol or dust-off. I don't want to make things more complicated for the sake of being verbose or intellectual, but when we're talking about IPA or dust-off, it's important to know we have no quantitative policy to refer to. So, you not only gamble until results are received, but any presence disqualifies the data, and you have lost the important chance to identify the origin. Now that's a direct quote from the DTSC. We have no quantitative policy to refer to with IPA or dust-off, so you lose the chance to identify the origin. That's a lot of wasted time, money, energy, and attention from high-level professionals. So, when we continue to try to opt for these pass-fail options, dust-off or IPA, you must ask yourself, are you doing this because it's what's familiar? Is it really overkill to do anything else? Or is it a little scary to step into something different? That being said, what you're stepping into is something that is a lot safer. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's words on leak testing came out in June 2015 and said that if a site team decides to proceed with subsampling, the EPA absolutely recommends the leak testing be performed to ensure the hole is properly sealed. When using helium tracer gas, the EPA recommends the site team allow some time after the sampling probe has been installed for the subsurface to return to equilibrium conditions. That's only 1 day. That's not a big deal. Go install your wells, go home, come back the next day and you're fine. You did not lose millions of dollars or huge amounts of site time. But when we're talking about brownfield sites, that could be decades of operations and management, maintenance, and monitoring of consequence. When you're looking at our vapor deck, I would put less emphasis on the savings feature and much more on the credibility feature. We do not ever want any type of whiplash to come back on our clients for any type of modifications we have made. For that reason, we routinely are in touch with the DTSC, the State Water Board, and the San Francisco Bay Regional Water Quality Control Board. With that many powers at play, we have not received any whiplash yet. And if you have made it this far, you've made it to the end of the Enthalpod episode. So I want to thank you for listening. If you have any questions on the things we covered today, please reach out to Enthalpy Analytical. And if you like this show, please like, subscribe, and tune in for our next episode.